You are tuning in for a brand new episode of A Tribe Called. And today we are talking to a wonderful, wonderful individual that I know on a personal note, but I think she is awesome and everybody should know her. So I brought her on. So I'm going to give her the opportunity because I call her by her nickname, but I don't want to say her nickname on the show. So I'm going to let her say what her name is and tell us a little bit about who she is. Welcome.
Welcome to you too. No, thank you so much for having me. My name is Keidra Pelloquin. Sharita may be referring to calling me KDP. And I'm just a regular, degular, smegular. In the words of Cardi B, just a regular, degular, smegular girl. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a creative who is personally and currently imprisoned in a 9-to-5 world. And I am fighting for my freedom as we speak.
Okay.
So that's the short of it at this moment.
Give her free. Give her free.
Give her free. Give her free. Okay.
First of all, she is not regular, smegular, degular by any means. She is all laughs, all joy. She is definitely a creative. She is like she is the breath of fresh air in the room. What they say on the nanny, she's the woman in red when everybody else is wearing tan. Like that's how I think of you. Like you show up and it'd be like in the simplest little manner, and it'd be like, what the heck? All right. So she does it in how she dresses, in her personality, in her creativity. Every time I have been to her house, it looks different. Like she changes it on a regular basis. And I
when
think
you came last time, it was in total disarray. So you'll have to come back.
it was
under major construction, so you'll have to come back.
I will definitely come back.
Myself, right.
But she is from my home city, St. Louis, Missouri. So I love highlighting my people. So let's just get into it. Tell us who, and also your last name is just so regal to me, Pelloquin. Yes, it sounds like you should be like on Dynasty or something.
Oh, like Diane Carroll.
Yes. So tell us who Keidra Pelloquin is.
That is such a hard question. You know what I mean? Because I think at certain points of our life, first of all, to backtrack, it's like when I was listening to you the other day when you were yourself interviewed. It is hard to talk about yourself. It's easy to talk about other people, but it's much more challenging to speak about yourself. And it's definitely hard to try to quantify who you are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And especially because I think at so many different points in our life, we're different people. You know what I'm saying? So
I totally agree. But tell us who you are now. So I definitely agree with that. It is difficult. And I challenged myself because I was like, listen, I'm not going to ask people to do anything that I wouldn't do. And shout out to you for listening to your people. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But tell us who you are right now in this moment.
Right now, look. He was just humping my elbow, guys. Excuse me. Bye. Right now, Chap, can you hear that? My TV just came off a pause in my room. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, I wanted to. If you can hear, let me know. I'll go back and I'll change it. I think right now I am in a space where I am going through a metamorphosis right now. I think I almost feel like when I look back and I look at some of my challenges, like over the past few years or whatever, and what I'm looking at as it relates to what I envision and taking place and where I feel like I am. I feel like I was dying like the past few years, but not necessarily in a bad way. You know what I mean? Because in order to grow and experience a rebirth, there are certain parts of you that have to die anyway. So I really do feel like that's the space that I'm in. So it's really, really hard to kind of narrow that down and explain who I am, because right now I'm just in a space where I'm really trying to shed old inhibitions and shedding expectations that other people may have for me, because they don't really necessarily understand what my dreams, goals, and objectives are. And that's okay. You have to become okay with that. That some people are just not going to get it. And sometimes those people who just aren't going to get it are some of the ones that are very close to you and the ones that you love the most. And you really want that support to rally in behind you. That's who you want it from the most. And you really realize that sometimes those people just can't give you that. And it's only because they just don't understand. Sometimes people can only understand what they understand, and you have to learn to accept that and not allow for that to continue to hold you up. So right now, who I am right now, I'm really trying to just put everything on the table.
Okay.
And surrender. Ultimately, I think I'm in a place of surrender because I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I
Mm.
think I've fought against it in all types of different ways. And one of it is because I'm a big personality and all of those types of things. So people think that I'm not shy, but on certain things I am shy. And when it comes
Mhm.
to my gifts and talents, that's one of the that's the biggest area of where I'm most sensitive about. You know what I mean? So it's been hard for me to share it completely
Mhm.
because I'm very sensitive about it and I'm very shy about it. So I'm actually in a space of where I'm trying to share that so I can put that everything that God gave me on the table and we're gonna see what happens. So like I said, I think I'm in a period of like being reborn. And I'm not trying to be deep, but it's just or trying to be faux deep. It's not even that or anything like or trying to be woke. It's not anything like that. It's just where I really, really feel like I'm at in my life. I feel like I'm moving into or transcending into another level of my life. And some things have to die in order to do that.
I love it. No, that's not faux. It's not fake. We all go through that point, and if
Mm-hmm.
a person has not gone through that point yet, then prepare yourself. And you do it more than once.
You do.
That's why I believe like this is the perfect time for you to be on the show. It's right in alignment with what I am doing. Just bringing light to people, to great people who a lot of times as creatives, because we both are creatives, I have that too. And I'm always saying, I quote the wonderful Ibadu, keep in mind I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my ish. Listen, yes, we don't want to put it out there because we don't want people, we don't want to hear what people got to say. We don't
No,
want to
not
hear the
really.
negativity because we birth these things. Like we
Exactly.
literally birth those things. So anything that you're birthing, you don't want to hear negativity or you don't want to get rejection from it. But the truth is, we've been called to do something. Like
That's
you
so
said,
true.
you're putting everything that God called you to do on the table, then you got to do it. Because if we don't, what I have noticed for me is when I have withheld those things, it has caused me mental blocks. It has caused me illness. It
Yeah.
has caused me stress.
It's
And
like
when I
depressing.
hinder, yeah, when we try to hinder creativity, it
Mm-hmm.
stops the flow. Like we are hindering the world when we hinder our creativity. That's what I believe.
I like
Because
that.
there are people that are waiting for what it is that we have that have been assigned to us. And when we stop them. So I say to people all the time, are you willing to have that type of blood on your hands where you stopping other people from doing what they supposed to do because
Ooh.
you are pulling back your
Ooh.
greatness? No, release it to the world. And honestly, who gonna check you, boo?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. So you might as well put it out there. And the
Okay.
thing is about you is like you put stuff out and people just be like overwhelmed with like, oh my God. But we just, and I get it because I've been in that space, but now I'm in this different space. So it just sounds like you're in a space of transition, but it's
Yeah.
going to be a transition of greatness, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm excited. I can't wait to the new Key, because I like to call her Key. I don't just
Yeah. It's so funny how that has caught on. Like people, like my family calls me. Well, I've got a couple of nicknames. Well, Kiki, and then I've been called by my initials for a long time, KDP. But
Mhm.
most times people do just call me Key, and I think that's so funny how that catches on. Like with people outside of my family, they just automatically start calling,
Yes, I mean, it just seems appropriate
calling me
and
Key.
and you never corrected me, so I was like, okay, I can keep calling her that. Cool.
Nope, nope. I'm
In
used to it.
your in your level of transition, what does a typical day look like for you?
Um, like
Or is
even
typical or even a certain, is that even a statement that you use typical? Because I don't have a typical day, so
no, I mean the thing of it is that right now it's like trying to what I'm doing right now is trying to minimize my resistance on 9 to 5 pay. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because we got
yeah,
bills to pay. I ain't trying to be homeless to be no artist.
yeah, yeah,
I'm trying to be
yeah.
hungry. You know what I'm saying? Because that was one of the reasons, like, why I didn't even go to school for art. Because, like, back in the
Mhm.
day, I don't know if you remember, Sharita, when they had those starving artist
Yeah,
commercials, like the starving artist art
yeah,
show or whatever. Like,
yes,
I took that literally as a kid. I was like,
yep.
what? So I went to school for marketing, which I thought was somewhat creative, that would like sort of satisfy whatever that creative need was. And plus, I didn't have an idea of what a career path looked like in the arts either. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I went with something that I felt like was safe and could keep a roof over my head and money in my pocket. But then, like they say, the majority of people who go to school aren't necessarily working in their career. And don't get me wrong, I've worked in marketing and all that type of stuff, but and it has definitely helped with my own personal journey as it relates to a business. But that wasn't the majority of the time that I've had in a 9 to 5 world. So a typical day for me right now just looks like getting through the workday and
Mhm.
fitting in what I can fit in with everything.
Got you.
That's what it looks like.
That makes a lot of sense as a person who only recently went into full-time entrepreneurship in the midst of the pandemonium.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, well, you know,
How's it been treating you? So what's
it,
up?
it has its ups and downs.
Right.
However, full-time entrepreneurship is just a different thing. It's different. And as a person who has worked in all different industries and similar path, you know, I had a scholarship to college, got accepted into a school that I really, really wanted to go to, it was Columbia College of Art in Chicago,
Right.
and I was ready. I had no way, and I had never left St. Louis before, so it kind of felt like, maybe I can't do this. But then I had people saying to me, "So what are you gonna be, a starving artist?" And I was like, "Well, why do I have to starve?"
You know what I'm saying? Starving arms.
But at that time,
Mm.
there were not a
Right.
lot of career paths that were even spoken about
Nope.
when it comes to art. You could either be an art teacher
That was it.
or you could be what they considered a starving
Starving
artist.
artist. Right.
And at the
Or
time,
you could
I
be a
didn't feel,
curator or a gallery. You know, like all
yeah,
of those things were not talked about. You're right.
yeah, and being a gallery owner didn't sound fun to me. That didn't sound exciting. I mean,
Right.
yes, that's great, but I wanted to create art. But I also didn't feel like my art was at a level that I'm gonna just jump out of school and make money. And there was no one there to cultivate that idea for me. It took
Yeah.
years before I got to a point of learning. First of all, I'm more than just an artist. I'm a creative because I create things all over the place. Like
Yeah.
I do all types of stuff. So I make sure that I cultivate that in my own children now so that they don't feel
Absolutely.
like you are trapped. But I think we live in a different age where you can be whatever you want. You can even create your own idea of a career or whatever it is. Like you have that ability. When we were coming up and trying to make plans, that wasn't it. It was like go to college or be a loser, pretty much. Those were your two options. Like, if you wasn't
Hmm.
going to college, you wasn't going to the military, you didn't take up a trade, then you was considered a loser. So
Right. 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 Right.
I can definitely relate to that. And I understand. I mean, yeah, I went to school for some stuff that I was like, I don't think I really want to do this. So I changed a lot. I spent a lot of money, you know, lots of student loans, but learning experience, you know, those
Hmm.
are things that we learn from.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so I understand that. I also understand be feeling imprisoned by the 9 to 5
Yes.
idea. But I
Yes.
found ways to put my creativity into it, which did not always work, by the way. So I'm not
Right.
saying that because sometimes jobs don't know how to handle that. If you have a job that can, wonderful. But if they can't, um, just you know, you got to get it in when you fit it in. So I
Yes, you
used to
do.
do. I would work 8 hours a day and then put in 4 to 5 hours in the evening
Yeah.
to work on my business.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially at the time when I was doing events, then all my Saturdays and Sundays were taken up. So I can definitely relate to that. Um, so when you're not working
Hmm.
on either your own thing or in the prison of your job,
Okay.
what can people
Alcatraz.
what can people find you doing?
Sleep. That's one of my favorite pastimes.
Okay.
One of my most favorite activities.
That's so funny because when
Yep.
I stop moving, that's what I do. I sleep, and I laugh all the time because I think about when I was a preschool teacher and those kids never wanted to take a nap. And I would say, one day you're going to wish you had this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Napping. I love it. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy.
Yes.
I have on the weekends I try to see my parents, and so that typically includes me hanging out with my mom, which that means that it's most likely some sort of retail outlet involved,
Okay.
and then a food establishment.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, I write a lot in my free time. I actually write a lot when I'm at work too, because like I got my notebook out. Y'all don't know what I'm talking. I don't know what I'm over here. I'm taking notes. I know we're not in a meeting, but I'm taking notes. I'm observing about what's going on. So I do write a lot at work too, because I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all don't know what I'm over here writing, and don't come over here looking and asking either. And some
Right.
people are like, what are you working on?
Why?
Mind your business. A lot of writing, because right now what I'm really trying to do is organize my thought process, because my mind goes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so much that I want to do that sometimes that kind of overloads the brain, and then you kind of shut down and don't do anything. So I'm really trying to organize and prioritize right now. But most likely you can find me napping, hanging out with my mom. And now that the weather has started to change, last year I kind of got into some I don't want to call it gardening, because I do not have a green thumb. I bought some sort of grass last year, like those tall, pretty, like ornamental grasses I was so excited about.
Ooh, okay.
Named him Marcus. Baby, Marcus is dead as that thing. So Marcus is dead.
R.I.P. to Marcus. R.I.P.
Marcus is dead. He was so beautiful. Like, I was tall and lush and green. Marcus is dead. So I just went to Home Depot yesterday and bought some creeping, like it's like called like ground cover, so I can create a border. We're going to see if that works. This is a continuation of what I started last year. We'll see.
It's a learning process.
Yeah. So now that the weather is changing, you'll find me outside doing some stuff too.
Okay. Well, I got a question about Marcus. Now, did Marcus die because the season changed, or did Marcus's mom forget about him, or not?
Marcus's mom paid him some attention. I just don't think that Marcus's mom was ready to be a mother.
Okay.
And it was something that I don't know if she gave him the wrong formula. I don't know.
Okay.
If she didn't burp the baby. I don't know. But Marcus
got
was
it.
out of here in almost 2 weeks. He was
he was going
down. I would look out there, I'd be like, is
all
this
right. So somebody should have got Marcus's mom the before your birth book.
Yeah, I should do some therapy, some counseling, some pre-baby counseling. Yeah.
Got you.
So we're gonna try again this year. We're gonna
okay, good. That's what's exciting, that you're not gonna give up
again this year. I'm excited about it.
Yes, and it's okay. You don't have to be a professional gardener. I actually took up gardening in the pandemonium too. Like, I not took it up. I grew some stuff. I killed a lot of babies. We're not talking about real babies, people. We're talking about plants.
Right.
They come and go. I did that. I even killed a cactus. I felt really bad because when I bought it, they said, this is the easiest plant to take care of. And I said, you don't know me. I have a brown thumb. And the man was being funny. He was like, oh, no, it has nothing to do with your race or your color. Sorry, that's not what we're talking about. I said, that's not what I meant, sir. I meant like plant, I kill it, but thank you. That is going to be a joke that I'm gonna carry with me for a long time. Sorry.
Your race.
But I did. I killed a cactus, but I grew bamboo.
Oh, you did?
I grew some succulents too. That succulent baby lasted for over a year. I accidentally overwatered her last October.
Really?
When I was about to go out of town, and I was like, let me make sure you got enough.
And you came back. And
I said, oh, you had too much. Okay.
She was dead when you
got back. I tried all type of surgeries and it didn't work. And I just said, we gotta just let go. We just gotta let go.
You tried to pack her a little something extra.
I did. I was thinking, the children not gonna make sure that you got what you need. And I was gonna be gone for a while. I wasn't gonna be gone that long, but I guess, I was overly mothering her.
Right,
Obviously.
right, right. You smothered her with love.
I did. And I think I should take a note from you and start giving them names. That might help. Maybe that will keep some life
Marcus,
into them.
Marcus,
Yeah,
Marcus, Marcus. Oh,
I should do that. Thank you.
devastated. I'm devastated.
So here's a little another little difficult question. What would
Mhm.
you say has been your biggest hurdle in life, in your adult life so far?
Um, I would say my biggest hurdle has been just really just 100% taking a chance on myself.
Okay.
So I would say that goes down to a belief factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've thought about that too. Like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
I got a few other hurdles, but we won't talk about other people right now.
Okay. Gotcha. We are accountable for us.
We are accountable for us.
No, I love that. I love that you know it and you're like, and I know what it is. I just got to
Mhm,
work through that. And I think
mhm.
that's important for people to know that we are just human. Like we don't have to, we're not robots. We have emotions, we have feelings, there's attachments to things. We got old trauma, we got new trauma. Like we got to work through stuff. And it's just okay to be in the space of I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right, right,
And it might take me a minute and I don't have an answer. And, I know I throw difficult questions out there, but part of that is that I just want people to know that even great people struggle in certain areas of their life. I know I do. I
right.
think I'm great. As a matter of fact, I know that I'm great, but I
Absolutely.
have some struggles. Lord knows. And if
Yeah.
anybody heard the first episode, listen, them were some things to overcome.
You do. You do.
So,
You do. And that's actually been one of my biggest Achilles heel because I'm not a crybaby.
mhm.
So a lot of times people around me don't think that I have any. And
Well,
that's also a challenge too, because it's like I'm a
yeah.
human being. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have my own set of shit that I gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
don't,
very relatable.
don't minimize my experience in that way.
That is very relatable because I didn't come up like that. Like I couldn't cry. It was suck it up.
You gotta
No,
get it done.
not what we do. And what is tears gonna do for you? Wipe them tears. What are you gonna
Mhm.
do about it?
Yep.
And that's how I've lived. I mean, I,
Yeah.
I had to soften a little bit because I
I
had
have
children,
to.
but I think the older I get, the softer I get, and it pisses me off sometimes. But I'm also learning to accept it.
I know. Cause now I be crying about stuff. I be like,
Don't know if that's an age thing or
it
what,
must
but you
be.
get to a certain point and you just like, why do I feel like crying right now?
Yeah, I be crying about something.
That's so funny.
I
Well, on a
do.
different note, what would you say is your greatest joy?
My greatest joy is just life, living, having the opportunity to get it right. Every day
Yes,
you wake up, you have another opportunity to get it right.
yes. A round of applause for that. Listen, the simple things, because I just get to wake up and try one more time.
And
I
try
love
one
it.
more time. Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. So, what would you say that when Keidra's napping or resting or even awake, what do you dream about?
Girl, I dream about all kind of stuff. I was just telling Janine and Aaron about this other dream I just had not too long ago. And it was like I was having these weird dreams. Um, so I'll talk about dreams from an aspirational point and from an REM point.
Okay.
Um, oh my God, what was I just telling them about? I think it had something to do with 50 Cent.
He would be a good dream.
It was nuts. It was, let me see. I had a dream the other day about my roof being damaged. It had me stressed out.
Oh, is your roof
Um,
actually damaged or that was just the dream?
the dream was that my roof was damaged. Yeah.
And that brought you stress.
It
Wow.
did. It did. I woke up because it was like I could feel the stress
Yeah.
in my dream, but I can't even remember. It was some sort of dream with 50 Cent and somebody else. It was just nuts. And Taryn was like, Keidra, you need to stay off the shade room. Oh my God. But in my waking life, my dreams really just center around me being able to operate within my purpose and my gifts and how that subsequently impacts other people to
Love it.
um make a way for somebody else as well. Because
Yeah,
if I can create a lane for myself, then I can most likely create a lane for somebody else. You know what I mean? And then, I
do.
would love to do something really big and grand for my parents. You know what I'm saying? Because they,
Mhm.
what I mean? They're responsible for me. You know what I mean? They took care of me. They raised me, did what they were supposed to do. And I
Yes.
would love to really celebrate them
Okay.
and really create a visual for them so they can
Mm,
see and really understand who I am and why I didn't give up and why I'll quit a job and go to another one. Like they don't understand those things. So I
yeah.
felt like if I could really make this thing happen, then it might be more tangible for them to get it.
Got
Like
it.
I see it now, you
Got it.
know?
Got it. That's interesting and important because another to me attribute of being a creative is other people on the outside don't get it. We just don't move like other people. We don't accept the same things that everybody else accepts, and sometimes people don't understand that it's ingrained in us. Like you just got to move when you got to move.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Like I've been at jobs and I can remember clocking out for lunch at a job and getting to my car, going to get something to eat, calling them and saying, "Hey, I ain't coming back."
Yeah,
I just,
I know I've done it.
and it's hard as
I
it is,
know I have.
and it's not easy, but it's just like it's what you have to do. So I
Mhm.
say, I say to people all the time, sometimes people just have to do, you have to go through the motion of something. And whatever came from that, I mean, I was ready to deal with it, but I was like, what I
Yeah,
cannot do is go back there. I
exactly.
cannot go back there. That's what I
Yeah.
cannot do. And call me crazy, call me, whatever you want to call me, just know I got to do what I got to do. So sometimes you have to move. And I think that's encouraging to some people because not everybody is a creative person, but some people don't understand that. But to say, hey, when you know it and you're willing to deal with whatever comes from that, just do what you need to do.
Mhm.
Go do what
Mhm.
it is that you need to do because the stress and all the stuff that comes behind that is not worth it. We only get one
Mhm.
life. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to talk to other people who have the same mindset that I've had or went through some of the same things. Because, whoo, I had some points where people was like, "Are you crazy? You in a different mind today? Place last week?"
For real. I
Yes,
will leave. I do not care. I do not care. I will leave. Do you hear me?
yes, yes. So, do you have any guilty pleasures?
Girls, cupcakes and cookies, especially these little cookies I just discovered. So I've been working at Youth in Need part-time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's this little market next door, and they would always go over there. I would never go over there. I'm like, I don't need nothing out the market. You know what I'm saying? So one day I was hungry. I said, let me go on over to the market. So I get on over to the market. The market is a lovely place.
Oh,
The market's bakery is busting. Do you hear me? 'Cause
mm,
like remember back in the day when you were young and you would go into a grocery store and you could smell the bakery? Like the
yeah.
grocery stores, to
It
me
doesn't
nowadays, the
happen
grocery stores,
anymore.
huh?
That doesn't happen
You
anymore.
don't smell it. You don't smell it. In
No.
this one, as soon as you walk in, that bakery hits you. They got
Ooh.
this open pane, and they all back there, like working in the bakery, putting stuff together. When you get
Oh.
down to the deli, it's all open. They back there working and putting something together. The bakery is bussing. For Easter, they've been having these little ice sugar cookies.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, the ducky, the bunny. Oh, I done had duckies for the past 3 days. I had a bunny the first day. It's another one down there. It looks like it might be a cross. I think I might hit that today. I go in this
Mhm.
evening, so I think I might get that today. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is my mo
Now, do these shapes have different flavors, or you just
They
indulge?
all taste the same, but the
Okay.
ducky is
Okay.
exciting for me because it's got
Little
Sugar,
sprinkles on it.
sugar crystal sprinkles. You get that crunch with that
Um,
icing.
okay, yeah, yeah.
It just makes
I
it
know
better.
you are a lady of the sweets. You, because I remember them cupcakes that we had at the birthday celebration. Yeah, just I get it. I get it.
That's my guilty pleasure. Outside of some other stuff we don't need to talk about on this here platform.
That's what's for now. That's what's for now. She got these iced sugar cookies with a little sprinkle of sugar on them. Yes, that sounds like a whole sugar rush. You having fun with them youth and need kids after you eat them cookies. Okay.
Child, don't get me started on them. God bless them. God bless them.
Well, speaking of youth, if
Yeah.
you could give a piece of advice to the younger Key, what would you say to her?
Um, that it's okay to not feel the same as everybody else. And
Hmm.
you don't have to try to you don't have to feel guilty about that. But that comes with growth and
Yes.
maturity. But just really understanding that it's okay to not feel the same as other people and you have to stand on that. You know what I mean? Because even since I've been very young, I've had my own opinions regarding religion and spirituality
Mm-hmm.
and how I seen myself living my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of let those things be conformed or allowed other people's expectations or opinions to not allow for me to live in those things fully.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say it's okay. Everybody does not see things the same. Everybody does not believe the same. Everybody does not
Mm-hmm.
practice the same. But there's space for all of that. And you don't have to feel guilty about it if you don't feel the same as the majority. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I do feel the same about as the majority, but there's a lot of things that I don't. And I've
Right.
felt that way. So I've known that since I've been very, very young.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I love that actually. Just have your own. It's okay to have your own opinion. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
3 years, because I really do. Let me say, where am I at? I'm at 2.5 years right now. So 3 to 5 years, I see myself completely and fully living my dreams, whatever that consists of. Because some people always like, what do you like? My last job that I quit in a month. We'll talk about that another time. But my
Okay. It's okay.
I was like, no, ma'am.
Hey, sometimes you got to test it out to
I
know.
was
And
like,
when you
no,
know,
ma'am, no,
you
ma'am.
know.
And here's the thing, though. I really felt like I was in the right space doing the right thing for that moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes management can kill that for you, and that's all it was necessarily in that
Yes.
position. But anyway, my boss at the time would always ask me, where do you see yourself? Like, you want all these concrete, where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years? But I know that he was thinking like from a professional trajectory as it relates to that particular establishment. I don't see
Mhm.
myself in 3 to 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to really keep it 100, I just
Right.
don't. So
Not
like,
here.
stop asking me that because I'm here to do. Just stop asking me that. But I really just see myself like living fully and completely in my dreams and whatever that consists of. Because here's the thing, like some people want to get rich and all that type of stuff, like to be seen. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go away. I don't have to
Yeah.
be at the busing party and at the I want to go away and live my
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying? But just have the financial means or whatever to do that however I see that. So if that's me um going down to New Orleans for a month because that's just where I want to be, then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Come back home, reset, check on my family. And if I want to go to London for the next 2 weeks, then that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. You know what I mean? I really don't want finances to be the most visible person. I'm really trying to live as leisurely as possible and
Ah,
create experience as other people, because I want to be able to be like, okay, all right, I think I want to go to Bali for the next week. Let me see what my girls are doing to see if they want to go.
mm-hmm.
Well, girl, don't worry about it. I got it. Let's just go. Let's just go and have a
Mm-hmm.
fun time and experience this. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to cash out all the time because I ain't trying to leave up out this big broke. But I will do
No, I can definitely relate to that. I can
Right.
relate to wanting to go where I want to go when I want to go. That's my main reason outside of my family being secure. It's time. I want to be in charge of my own time.
Boom. That's it.
I don't want to have to go and ask. I see those things on Instagram, which crack me up every time. Just book the trip. Now I'm asking for PTO, and it's like, oh, I'm going anyway. Like, I don't like that. I don't want to have to ask you permission to go and do what I want to do.
Right.
So I had to come up with a different plan. So I get it. I do get it. And I just want to be like, hey, let's go to. And if my girls are like, I ain't got the finances, girl, don't worry about it. Listen.
Exactly.
Send me your info. Let me book this ticket for you. We going. And you're right. Not every single time, but I do want to be able.
It becomes an expectation. No, ma'am, you got to add your part on this one.
Right. Don't expect me to do it, but I want to be able to surprise you. But my real people, they would never like expect that I'm going to do it anyway. So that's the beauty of knowing the relationships that you in.
That's so true. But it's so funny. We just talked about this the other day with the kids. We were talking about permission because I was having a conversation with the assistant principal of Riverview, and we were talking about that. And she was just talking about, she was just kind of doing some mining with some kids, trying to figure out what their interests were, what their objectives were, where do they see themselves, what they want to do. And she said some of them were just like, she said she was like, do you want to work? She's like, okay, let me bring it down. Like, do you want to work in retail? Let's start some.
Yes.
Just couldn't. And I said, you know what? I said, it's almost like they haven't had the permission to even dream, you know? And it's heartbreaking when you think about it, because
it is.
Even from a young kid, I've been a real big dreamer, always been a dreamer, and I'm still a dreamer now. And even when things have been tough for me in whatever capacity, whether it's been emotionally or spiritually or financially, whatever it's been, like, that's one thing that I've always resorted to that's always got me through. It's just being able to dream without limits and without parameters, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it's so heartbreaking when somebody doesn't even have the power within their own mind to think, just to think in that way. So we were talking about that with the kids that we work with, about the permission to dream and about all of these things that you have to ask permission for, how those things can get bogged down. But one thing you do is have free will, and your mind should still be able to be free, even if your body and your circumstances are not in that moment. And sometimes that can be difficult, but just to know that there were kids that young who had never even thought about that. Because I felt like being young is like the freest time of your life, you know?
Right.
So what is going on to where your thought process in that capacity is that limited? So
that's very, very interesting, because I would have never even thought of it in that manner. But what has happened that restricts you from dreaming? I feel like when I was young, I dreamed a lot more because there wasn't as much requirement on my dreams as it is now. Like now I have to bring reality into it. Like, that's a dream. But this but when I was young,
you don't.
Dreams were like real to me. And I know that I was a very big dreamer. I thought of some stuff, and I would say some stuff, and I can remember seeing the expressions of people when I said certain things and be like, I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm making it happen. I am. And some things I did in my own way make happen.
Yeah.
But to think that somebody so young would not even know how to, I mean, I wonder if that just has a lot to do with, because we also didn't have social media to tell us what we should be thinking about or what we should be doing. And I don't even know how we come out of that to, help the young people understand that it's still okay for you to dream about stuff. Like social media is a dream of someone dreamed of creating this platform. So that's just interesting. I never really thought about that people would stop dreaming.
Or they've never even formulated a reason. And I guess it goes to circumstances. You know what I mean? I have to realize that my experience, or a lot of people's experience growing up with me, may be completely different than what somebody's going through right now. Poverty, abusive relationships in the household, you know what I mean? Probably some of these kids probably have seen some stuff that I haven't even seen.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so
I
they
don't know.
might
My
get a little
dreams
more
were my
stressed with different
escape.
things. That's how I feel too.
Yeah, that was my
Jamaica
escape
tell
from
me,
the
she'd be like,
life.
she used to be looking at me like, because I was raised like an only child. My sister is 14 years older than me. My brother is 12 years older than me. So I
Oh
was raised like an
wow.
only
That's
kid. I
something
had
that I did not know about you. I
Mhm.
didn't know your siblings were that much older.
Yeah, I had to
So you
entertain
were
them.
like an only
Yeah,
child.
entertain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. I say today, one of my biggest flexes in life is when my Barbies got the Corvette. Because before then, they were driving around in shoeboxes. And my mama's
Yes.
shoeboxes. Baby, I got that great Corvette with that pink interior. Everybody, let's get in, y'all.
That's so funny. And you rarely see kids playing with Barbies now.
Or
Like
toys or riding bikes or
yes.
playing outside. Nothing. They do
I
not
have
do that.
friends that have children, and I'm like, okay, what do they play with? And they're like, well, they got tablets, and I'm just like, oh, well, I don't, I don't know what to do for these.
No,
What
no.
do you do? What do you buy a gift for a child who only uses a tablet and an
Exactly.
iPhone? Like, I
Mm-mm.
don't know what to. I was just like, oh, well, I was gonna just. I saw this cute doll. I thought, okay, maybe not. So not Legos. But on the flip side, my 16-year-old and 19-year-old love Legos. So
Mm-hmm.
listen, I used to be so against buying gift cards for people, but now that's what I do. Does your child want a gas card? Like, I don't know what to let me get you a gas card so you can take the child to wherever it is that they want to go. I don't know what
Exactly.
to buy
Nobody want to think
for
about it. Who
that.
wants to
But
even think
that's so
about it?
funny. It's funny you brought that up. I did not play with a lot of dolls. I had 3 main dolls, and then I had some Barbies. And I remember I wanted the Barbie. I don't know if it was the dream house or the mansion. Whatever it was the one that the lights come on and the elevator moves up and down.
I had the one with the elevator moved up and down, but then no lights come on because the background was cardboard.
Oh
But
no,
the
mine was
elevator
an
had the
inside
string. Mine
house.
had the elevator with the
No,
string.
I had a house that opened, but it was not brand new because my cousin was younger than me and somebody gifted all of this to her. And then my uncle gave it to me because he was like, she older, she could play with it. She know what to do with it. So I got gifted. I don't know if it was mansion, dream house. It had an elevator and it had the doorbell light worked. I mean, the doorbell worked and then the
That's
light outside the
fancy.
house worked. That's the only lights that work though. But listen, I
Do you
rang
remember
that
how magical that
doorbell.
felt? Like that felt so
It
magical.
did.
I was like, I felt
It
like I was
did.
in there with them. Like,
And I invited friends over. I was like, bring your Barbies. They can ride on the elevator. That's all we want to do was just pull them up and down on the elevator. Because it wasn't electric. It was you winded something or
mine
pulled.
had a string. My elevator
That's what
had
it
a
was. A
string.
string. Yes. That's all they did was go up and down on the elevator. And then
Then I flexed on them with the beach stand that had the fruits and the parakeet, and the grass door. I would kill to have that stuff. Like I would kill to still have that stuff.
wow. That's
The
so funny.
Corvette, the house, the beach stand. I thought I was doing it with the beach stand and the fruit. I can still remember how that fruit smelled. Like
Mm.
it was like a rubbery material, so it was matte. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
shiny. It had like a matte
Mm-hmm.
finish, and it almost kind of smelled sweet. It didn't smell sweet like fruit, but it just kind of had like a sweet. Honey, the cockatoo was on the parakeet had a little swing.
Maybe this is why we have dreams, because we play pretend.
Yep,
And kids don't play with stuff
they
anymore.
don't.
It's dictated to them. So to
Oh,
all
but
the parents listening, get your children to play with toys. That's
yeah,
where imagination is
yep,
cultivated.
yep,
They need to play because I did. I was on bikes outside, but when I
yep.
wasn't, I was in creating stuff, making doll clothes. I used to make Barbie doll clothes.
I cut my doll's hair off. Like
Yeah,
they
I
always
cut
had
all
a
the hair.
hairstyle.
Yeah. Everybody
Little
looked like
crooked bob,
you remember
bob
that
all
80s
edgy,
movie?
sketchy.
What was that 80s movie about Billie Jean King? And they were running from somebody. What was it? What's it called? I can't remember what it was
I
called, but
know that movie. The white girls with the white
yes,
hair.
yes, and her name was Billy. All my Barbie's hair
Weren't
looked
they
like
in a
that.
prison?
They went into prison. They did something and they were running because I remember the station wagon that they was in.
I'm
And
not gonna be satisfied.
you look it up. But I know all my kids had like an 80s kind of cropped mohawkish spiky because I took all their hair off. Everybody's hair was short and spiky,
Oh
and
my
I was using
God.
all the hair products in the house to do stuff to their hair. I put curling irons to one Barbie doll's hair. That was
Burnt off. Was it burnt off?
it was and it stank bad. My grandma had a fit.
It was fried. It was
Like
fried.
you can't. That's not good hair. You can't put curling irons on that. And I think I messed up her good curling iron too. So
I love board games too.
board games became something I loved as I got
I
older.
loved
Didn't
board
like
games
them as
too.
much as a kid. Now I still am not a fan of Monopoly. That's the
It
longest.
goes on too long.
It's the longest game in life, and I no.
And then I played one time with my dad because I ain't nobody to play with. He knew the objective was to have the most money at the end, so he wasn't buying nothing.
That's boring.
Boring. He just rolling the dice, just going around the board. But it goes to show that that was real life at play right there. I ain't
Yes, it
I
was.
ain't
It was.
I don't want to play. I did not want to play, but no, I loved board
So,
games.
what was your favorite board game?
One of my favorite board games as a kid was Fireball Island. I don't know if you've ever
I
heard
don't
of
know that one. No.
Fireball Island. It was the reason why I loved it was a 3D game. And it's so funny. I had told my friend Jaquanda about this, and she was like, girl, I found it on eBay and I was bidding on it for you. But the one guy, he bid too. It was a 3-dimensional game, and it was like it was an island, a 3-dimensional game, but it was like mountainous. So it
Okay.
had texture and all this type of stuff, right? I was so excited about it. I wish I had all of this stuff. I'm so mad that throughout the years you think they don't have value. You think back on it like I wish I would have kept it. So at the top of the island was like this head, like I don't know, like a ghoul or a dragon or whatever, and that's where the fireballs were.
Oh.
But it was a shipwreck. Basically, the concept of the game is that they were these shipwrecked campers or whatever, and they got shipwrecked at the island, and they have to make their way through the island for safety, that type of stuff. So basically, you're trying to get to the top of Fireball Island, but depending on what you land on, the fireballs get activated. They come rolling down.
Oh, that sounds like I've never heard of that game. Now you're gonna have me looking for it though.
Fireball. It was the
Yeah,
best.
I'm gonna be looking for it. That's
the
cool.
game that I wanted that I never got was the one with the mall.
With the mall?
That?
No.
It was like a mall. It was totally a girly game, and it was a
Wait,
mall.
was it like Mall Mania or something like that?
Yeah, like so and such and such, and you would be in the mall.
That's funny. Well, we play that game regular now, so
in real life. In real life,
so funny. I like.
I'm gonna have to put, they do the 1986 vintage Fireball Island. Let me show it to you.
That's so funny.
Can you even see it?
Yeah, I can see a little bit. Oh yes, I do remember that. I remember. Sorry, y'all can't see it, and if you're listening, but
you see the little fireballs that go over the bridge. I might have to get this.
You should get it. It's nostalgic. I mean, who wouldn't want something from their childhood?
I loved Clue too. I love Clue to this day.
Yes, Clue was one of my favorite games. I didn't like to play with people who didn't like puzzle, who didn't like to figure stuff out. Because I used to play with people that would sneak and look in the little envelope, and but that's not fun. That kills the whole point of the game. If you're gonna we're supposed to figure it out. I still love
college.
Clue.
I had my friends playing it in the dark with candlelight. I was trying to make it creepy.
Still love Clue. There's a movie. It's not called Clue, but it's similar to Clue. It's called Knives Out, I think.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I would love to do Clue like in real life, like in a mansion.
Oh, we should put that together.
Like in real life.
Yes, we should do that.
Let's do it.
We should do that. Yes, that would be so fun. Have people dress up too. That would be. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Because we'll be on here, and then because Professor Plum, and then.
So So do you have anything, any of your greatness going on right now as far as events or things you need to promote or want to promote? What do you have
We'll
in
be
the works?
bringing, from a business perspective, I really am trying to get back into my own art because I've been
Mhm.
away from it for quite some time.
Yes.
So I really have been having the desire to create personally myself. So that's
Mhm.
really, really big for me. Septemberotica, the art
Yeah.
show, will be coming back this year. As you know, we've been benched due to the pandemic. And so
Yes.
we're going to bring that back this year. I mean, we were really experiencing a great trajectory over the past few
Yes.
years. And but we're
The
gonna have
number of calls that I have gotten, are they
really,
are they doing that art show this year? Are they
let's
doing
do
the art show this year?
it.
So listen, people waiting for it to come. I don't think that you lost anything just because it was a shutdown. Everybody understood that stuff
Yeah.
wasn't happening, but I'm excited for those that don't know. I'm an artist also. I have been at the show not once, but twice. Actually, she is responsible for me letting people see my creative stuff
You
because
gotta
I
tell
was
the people that
painting and making
that
stuff and
peephole you made. And
yes, yes,
then
I got some new stuff. So I will be in this year's show. But we will bring Miss Key back to talk about Septemberotica as it moves closer to it, so you guys can
Yep.
get a real idea of what this event is about and get to know a little something about me that you probably don't already know. But yes, I'm excited for that. When I got the message, I was like, oh, it's time to get busy. Oh, let me pull out some of this pandemonium stuff that I created while I was bored, stuck in the house. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready because
Yes.
I come with the in
Yes.
your face. Everybody else be like, "Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of that." I'm like, "Bam, this is it right here. This is it."
Bye out. Right here. Bling, 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 bling. Right.
That's exciting. Anything else you're working on? Are you gonna have some art yourself in it this year?
That is my goal because here's the thing: I've got a canvas or two already sketched from like a year, from like
Come on, Key. Come
I
on,
just get
Key.
so bogged down with
Give
the
the people
planning
what they
process.
want, Key. Give the
I know.
people what they want.
I get so bogged down with the planning process that the actual me taking joy in creating something, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. So my goal is to have that done before I get
Okay.
bogged down with that, so I can
Okay.
actually exhibit in the show as well
Yes.
this year as an artist. Because I don't think a lot of people who I've even worked with in Septemberotica, I think they just think I might be,
I don't think they know that you are actually an artist.
yeah, that I can draw and stuff.
I'm
So we'll
excited
see.
to see that you got to get at least one in.
At least one.
You have to get at least one in.
At least one.
We need that. We need that. That's
We
gonna
can make
take
it happen.
it's gonna take it to a whole nother level. They're gonna be like,
We can have. We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
yes, make it happen, make it happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I am so happy that you put on your brave panties and came to talk to me on the show. She was a little reluctant, but I was like, we just gonna talk like we normally talk. I'm gonna ask some questions, and it was easy. You think it was easy?
It
You
got
said,
easier as it went along.
see,
Yeah.
that's great. That means I'm doing my job. This is me doing my job. I wanted to create spaces where people could feel comfortable being themselves, saying, letting the public know what it is that they do and who they are. So I feel accomplished just by this. And of course, I'm always looking to highlight individuals who I think are awesome, amazing, and great. So tell people where they can find you if they wanted to get in touch with you, if they want to know about Septemberotica, what do they do?
Yes. So I would say the best place to locate me right now would be via Instagram, and that's MsKDP2U. So that's MsKDP, the number 2, the letter U. That is my Instagram handle. And then at that point in time, you will be redirected to everywhere you need to go as it relates to everything regarding me.
Yes.
My Instagram is a little dry right now, but give me a few weeks. It's about to get popping and busting out here, okay?
Awesome. And if people have not seen the advertisement for her segment, it will be in the caption of the advertisement. So they'll be able to find it there too. So just go to my Instagram, which is in.connectionstrategies. Connection Strategies on Facebook as well as on Instagram. And you'll be able to get a link to her because I rep my people. That's the whole point of this. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you
Oh,
so
thank
much.
you.
I am excited. I'm excited about bringing you back so we can talk about some more artistic, creative stuff because I love talking to creatives.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, thank you everyone for tuning in to the show today. You have been listening to A Tribe Called